Hey guys, so welcome to vlog number 2 on the 27th of February 2023. Thought I'd go over a few quick key points today, a few things that are of interest. For anyone that doesn't know, Mondays are my rest day, so I never train on a Monday. You'll never see me in a gym on a Monday. That's my non-negotiable. That's kind of my first point I want to talk about. So why don't I train on a Monday? Experience has shown that over the years, pretty much everyone comes in on a Monday. Everyone's motivated. Everyone wants to kick goals. Everyone wants to achieve stuff on the Monday. If you want results, everyone's in there. Everyone's on the leg press. Everyone's on the bench. So I find it's not really productive. So I just skip Mondays. They don't exist for me. So pretty much my 2 rest days, or 1 or 2 rest days, will be Monday. And then I have an optional one, either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, to work into my schedule so I can actually have a life. Obviously, you want to train with the right amount of recovery. So every muscle group will take about 72 hours to recover. That's kind of universal thing. That's what science says. Obviously, you've got different types of muscles and muscle fibers. So things like calves, things like forearms, I think even medial delts, which medial delts is the side of your shoulder, they'll recover a lot faster. It kind of depends how you use the muscle and how frequent. Because on calves all day, every day, you can really beat them up and they're used to it. Where things like chest, it all depends if you're lifting stuff using your shoulders, so it's very dependent. So basically, anyone that goes to a gym will know that there's peak times. Obviously, if you go when everyone's at work, it's going to be quiet. You can get in, get out. You'll be 20 minutes faster. You get through it a lot quicker. You have a better pump. So that's one thing you have to be aware of. And especially with group classes, if your gym does cater for group classes, you have to be aware when they are, because that will be packed. And the sacrifice you have to make is, if you want to make results, you have to be willing to sacrifice the social side of things. So let's say your mates all go at 4:30 and train. If you go in at 4:30, you might have heaps of fun. You might be there an extra half an hour, but you will be fucking around. You'll be doing all the fun exercises, one arming the deadlift, one arming the bench. You won't have that intensity commitment of training by yourself, like sticking to a program, tracking your numbers, comparing one week to next. If I come in and I do a set of bench, I do 100 kilos for 5. If I come in the next following week and I do the same exercise first and I get 6, generally that's a good indicator that I'm growing. If I get 7 next week, I'm growing. Next week, if I get 5 again, why was that? Am I fatigued? Is it food? Is it sleep? There will be a reason. And that's why you track that progression and find what's causing you to stall and plateau. For tonight, I'll touch on one of my favorite subjects, supplements. So right now I've got my protein shake. I think it's genetics, which I just buy a big tub from Nutrition Warehouse. Shout out to Nutrition Warehouse. Also, bulk nutrients is a really good one. Pretty good value. And I always recommend chocolate, because chocolate always goes down the tray. So a bit of background. So basic and advanced knowledge on supplements. So let's start with the number 1, protein. Protein available at all pretty much supermarkets these days, or Nutrition Warehouse, gyms. Why do we have it? So obviously it's used to build muscle, but also recover muscle. So generally we eat chicken, we eat, say, steak or beef. We get a large amount of protein through that, but we need that extra boost from a protein shake to help us get that ideal growth we need, because there's only so much red meat and white meat you can eat. You do need to have variety, fruit, veggies. So this is where a protein shake comes in handy. This will be around, like, say, 25 to 30 grams of protein, which is almost like the amount of protein you get from a standard meal. So make sure you have one of these, or a protein bar. Don't overdo it, or you will feel sick in the gut if you're just smashing these. There's a difference between natural protein and artificial ones. So have a balance. Don't just be smashing a box of protein bars every day, because that won't be fun for anyone. So there's different types of protein. I'll go over some of the basic ones. So there's whey and there's whey isolate. If you see the term isolate on protein, it's generally a higher quality one. Also more money, surprise, surprise. They're the pretty standard ones. So whey is a really good quality protein. If you see the word whey, W-H-E-Y, or isolate, really good qualities. Most proteins generally are the same. Careful of dodgy flavors. Some flavors are absolutely revolting. You don't want to buy a big tub of protein and then find out it's yuck, because that wouldn't be fun. We've got a tub sitting there. like mint flavored or coffee or salted caramel. Just be careful of that. That's why I always go with chocolate. You may have heard of casein protein. So obviously this one's good from bedtime because doesn't spike from memory. I don't think it spikes your insulin, so you help you settle. Where obviously these might have sugars and whatnot in it, so it's going to be better throughout the day or ideally after you train. And the secret with protein shakes is, let's use a nurse or a driver or a truck driver or someone that goes to school or someone that has worked a really, really busy job like a driver. They don't get to sit down and have a 3-course meal. They don't get their veggies and meat. So the protein shake is ideal for times when you can't actually sit down and have a meal, because you can have this 2 minutes, this can be gone in 2 minutes. And all you need is water. So it's very, very important to utilize protein at the right time. So look at your schedule. When do you need it the most? If you're just chilling at home and you're bored, don't just grab a protein shake, cook a meal, and then use the protein shake as like your backup if you know you're going out or a long drive somewhere. There's a few other types of protein. So that was casein and that was whey isolate. There's vegan type protein, plant-based ones. They're also good. I don't think they have as high content of protein, but they also taste pretty nice. So that's protein. So why do we have it? What do I have next? Creatine. So everyone's talking about creatine. Is it safe? How much do you need? How do you take it? What is it? So basically, I take my creatine every morning. I take like pretty much a teaspoon, tablespoon, just a scoop. I have mine with orange juice. It's pretty much tasteless, but I just put all my stuff in orange juice, mix it with a spoon, and it's just tasteless. That way, it's all going in one thing, and I can enjoy the rest of my day. Some people do it differently, entirely up to you. I'll try my best to explain how creatine works. So basically, it's like a white powdery substance. It's pretty reasonably priced. So I think you can get a tub for like $60-80 and it will last you ages. You can double scoop and it's not that bad. Like there's never, in all my years training, I've never heard anyone bag out creatine. It's a go-to. It does occur naturally in red meats. So like I think steak and some other foods will have it occur in it, but not in very small portions, small amounts. And what it does is basically our body runs off energy that's called ATP. I'm not going to try and pronounce that one, I'll get it wrong. Adenosine triphosphate. So basically the energy that your body runs on, and it helps generate and use this better. So it generates more energy for you to use in the gym, which in turn means more strength, more hypertrophy, more energy, more endurance. So it's a win-win. I'd highly recommend it, as far as like it's cheaper than most other supplements and it's safe. Probably wait until you're like 16 or whatever. There's no kind of issues around it, but wait until you're able to try it. And I think there's a saturation period, so I'll try and explain that. So basically, when you take it, it will take time to kick in. So you take a scoop. Some people reckon you have to take double for like 2 or 3 weeks just for it to kick in, but just take one scoop, and then after a few weeks, hopefully your numbers, your strength will go up. And just like one scoop a day, that's it. And as I said, orange juice works a treat. Fat burners. I've used these once or twice. I had a housemate, George, who used to always use them, and then I got onto them, and they do work. I've seen a few people have allergies to one or two, so just be careful of them. Like Oxy Shreds, pretty popular, but I know a few people have had allergies and a few rashes and weird stuff from it. Basically, how do you take them? From memory, you just mix it with water. Have it, say, before a gym, for a workout, it helps you burn more. Like your body heats up like an oven, it just burns more, sweat more. What else is there? They're generally pretty reasonably priced, so you can get a tub $60-80. If you're trying to bulk, don't take a fat burner. If you're trying to cut, what I recommend is be stringent with it. So don't use heaps, use it sparingly. Take maybe like it when you really need it towards the end of a cut, or when you really want it. Don't have it as a day-to-day thing, because I believe some will have caffeine and other subs that will have some negative effects. So just be aware of that. Which brings me to probably my other favorite sub, pre-workout. So pre-workout is the big name in the game. That's what everyone talks about. Like, oh, what preview got? How much preview taken? I double scooped on my day. I dry dropped my protein at my pre-workout. So as far as pre-workout, something that they all have in common is caffeine. So obviously we have caffeine in smaller doses, coffee, mainly coffee. You have your caffeine. Well, in pre-workout, there is a ton of caffeine, like more than your standard dose. That's why when you take it, it's like you're buzzing. That buzz is there. And the other thing you may notice is when you take pre-workout, you have like a tingly feeling, like a Spider-Man, like your spider senses are tingling. That's because of this supplement called beta-alanine. So if you look at any pre-workout, this is your homework. Go into the gym, grab a tub of pre-workout, look at the nutrition label, and there will be caffeine and beta-alanine. And basically, that's the strength of how powerful it is. They're the main two ingredients. You get leucine and other stuff that can be included, but they're the main two that all have. I don't really take pre-workout anymore. I haven't taken it in years, because the catch is, while you're really good in the gym, caffeine in your system with that level is going to stay in your system 4 to 6 hours, and you're going to not be sleeping. You're going to be up all night, which isn't great, because sleep should trump pre-workout. Sleep is really important over pre-workout. So remember that. What have I got next on my list? EAAs and BCAAs, so essential amino acids, branched chain amino acids. So obviously our body, we get amino acids through foods, and some are essential, some are from foods, and some aren't produced naturally in our body. Basically what this means is, if you take branched chain amino acids, it's going to give you a little bit extra energy, stuff in your diet that you aren't necessarily getting from your food. The people that would want to really take this, the two main people I can see that would benefit from this: people that train over an hour and a half, like me, people who are vegan, that are missing key things from their diet, and competitors who are like on comp prep and they're like half asleep in their zombie mode, not even like know what they're doing. So them three people are kind of the key people that should be taking EAs or BCAAs. And basically it's just like cordial, just mixed with water, and it's flavored. Again, I think they've got salt in it or sodium, so they make you dry out and really thirsty, but they're like a tasty cordial. Yeah. And then just my last topic for tonight, I hope you find this one interesting, is who is my idols. So most of you can probably guess, you've checked out my profiles, that number one of all time is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I got to meet him, and that was like the highlight. I reckon that's a highlight of my training career, getting to meet Arnold. So why Arnold? Obviously, I love his training mentality. I love his physique. It's kind of like the peak of the golden age. He's got that classic sort of look, nice V-taper and size. I think he's like kind of the peak, because if you look at like Phil Heath or any of them, they're real mass monsters, which is like good. But when it comes time to pose, I don't think he like getting as good of a show. You're not really showing off your package. Where Arnold, he's got the kind of classical look. You see some of the big bodybuilders hit a 3/4 double back pose, and it won't look as good, I reckon. I still appreciate size. I still appreciate fitness, physique, classic, all others, natural body, but like the standard bodybuilding. So yeah, that's why he's my idol, and he makes good movies. So has been my idol for years. Watching a lot of his YouTube videos, training the old school videos as well. Pumping Iron, that was one of my favorites. Old school Pumping Iron movie. If you haven't seen that, that's like the original gym movie. Go home, or if you are home, just Google and YouTube Pumping Iron. That's the original like bodybuilding movie. Then if you're looking for another movie, I'd highly recommend Generation Iron. That's a really good one. Generation Iron 1, 2, and 3. That's more modern day bodybuilding, like your C-Bum, your Chris Bumsteads, and Kai Greens and all them. Who am I thinking of? Callum Von Moger. Also, just recently, my favorite person to watch, my inspiration for also doing this, what's his name? Jeff Nippard. He is my favorite. Every time I'm cooking food or before going to the gym, 20-30 minutes of Jeff Nippard. Oh my god, that just gets me like pumped. Like, his voice is like fucking therapeutic, and the science behind it, he explains why he does everything. He backs up with science, and he's got years of experience training some of the big names like John Meadows. So like, he's also one of my big favorites. I also do like Jeff Side, David Lade, C-Bum, all them sort of ones. There's been a lot of good ones. Even Kai, Phil Heath, they're real fucking monsters. Yeah. I think that's the last item on my list. So I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I will see you in the gym soon. Train hard.